Everyone, today we will talk about simple and compound statements. So these concepts plays a vital role in understanding the structure of arguments and even decision making in real life. So now let's explore what these statements are, how they work, and why they matter. So first let's figure our objectives for today. So first is to define simple statement and compound statement. Second is to write compound statements using connectives. Let us define what is simple statement. So simple statements conveys a single idea and has only one independent clause, meaning these sentences are shorter in length and do not generally use commas. So these are the simplest forms of sentences. They only have one subject and one predicate. While compound statements, on the other hand, are statements that conveys two or more ideas and contains two or more independent clauses, meaning they are longer than simple sentences and they typically uses commas between the clauses, so they are more complex than simple sentences and can have more than one subject and predicate. So let me show you examples of simple statement and compound statements. So in simple statements, the room is cold, the sky is blue, the sun rises in the east. So notice that these sentences contains only one thought and has only one independent clause. Di sila gumamit ng any commas and has only one subject. So next one is a compound statement. A triangle has three sides and the sum of its angle is 180 degrees. A number is even if and only if it is divisible by 2. Now, yung compound statement, it is formed if nagko-combine tayo ng two or more simple statements using logical connectives. So these connectives are and, conjunction or disjunction, if then, conditional, if and only if by conditional, not negation. So let me show you these examples. So I will study, I will pass the exam. So we can combine these two simple sentences into compound statements. So first is conjunction, which is and. So I will study and I will pass the exam. It is only true if both P and Q are true. So next is disjunction, which is or. I will study or I will pass the exam. It is only true if either P or Q is true or both of them are true. So next is negation, not. I will not study. It is only true if P is false. Next is conditional, if then. If I study, then I will pass the exam. So it is only true unless P is true and Q is false. So next is biconditional, if and only if. I will study if and only if I will pass the exam. So it is only true if P and Q are both true or both false. Now that I've explained them both, let us now do these activities. So that we can further understand what are the difference of simple sentence and compound sentence. So write 5 examples of simple statements and 5 examples of compound statements about the Philippines. This can be trivia or recent news. So simple sentence, Mayor Dr. Hani Lacuna is suspending classes in Manila. Compound sentence, if the rainfall warning has turned into orange, then Mayor Dr. Hani Lacuna will suspend classes in all levels in Manila. Notice that the connectives that was used was if and then, which is conditional. So next is many Filipinos became comfort women during World War II. So compound sentence, many Filipinos. So compound sentence says many Filipinos became comfort women during World War II, and many of them continue to chase justice for their wretchedness. Notice that the connectives that was used was and, which is conjunction. So dismissed Mayor Alice Guo will face charges from the Senate. Dismissed Mayor Alice Guo will face charges if and only if the Senate finds her answers convincing. The connectives that was used was biconditional, which is if and only if. So next is OVP snob second round of House budget deliberations. If they continue to snub the deliberation, then their proposal might differ. So the connective set was used was if and then, which is conditional. So next is Pastor Kibuloy has been arrested. If Pastor Kibuloy doesn't have a protector, then he could have been arrested long ago. Notice that if and then was used, which was conditional. Next is this activity abstraction, so that we can further understand what are compound statements and their symbols. So write the compound statements on the activity using the correct symbols. So if the level warning has reached orange, then Mayor Dr. Hani Lacuna will suspend classes in Manila in all levels. So P, and the arrow is pointing at the right, and Q, which is P, if, and then Q. So next is many Filipinos became comfort women during World War II, and many of them continue to chase justice for their wretchedness. So P and Q. So next is dismissed Mayor Alice Guo will face charges if and only if the Senate finds her answers convincing. So P, tapos dalawang magkabilang arrow, which is P if and only if, which is conditional. So fourth, if they continue to snub the deliberation, then their proposal may differ. So P and then if and then, which is biconditional, and then Q. And then fifth, if Pastor Kibuloy doesn't have a protector, then he should have been arrested long ago. So P, and then the arrow is pointing at the right, which is Q. So that is all for simple and compound statements. Thank you for listening.